Okay, welcome back to the Green Room Podcast. We're both happy to be here.
Oh, man.
In the lovely Franklin Theater in downtown Franklin, Tennessee.
Shout out yet again.
Yes, we appreciate this lovely green room, which is actually painted green, which is just a perk, if you ask me.
With sweet ceilings that you still can't see.
Yes, really sweet. One day we'll show you. Not today. My name is Massimo DeStefano. To my right is...
I am not Massimo DeStefano. I am Brendan Ayton.
Yeah. And how you doing, Brendan?
I'm doing all right. I'm kind of tired this morning.
Yeah?
I've had a long few days, just of late nights.
What'd you do yesterday?
Well,
yesterday was Easter, by the way.
Yes, happy Easter.
Yeah. This is be far in the
Very
future.
late, yeah.
But
by this, I might be late. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Probably. Even like really late.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. All the stuff.
But no, on Friday, I had a show that went really late. I didn't go on until like 1:30 in the morning. And then Saturday, we had a late night after we finished filming a video that may or may not be out now. And then yesterday was Easter, and I got invited to go over to some other engineer's house because he was making burgers for free. And so,
what?
Of course I said, yeah, Justin. He was making burgers and
he did invite
corn on
me?
the grill, and it was all the guys from when I used to intern there, all those kind of guys.
Whatever.
And I just went late too, and I was really expecting to get good sleep yesterday, and I didn't. So, but that's all right. That's what you get when you work in the industry.
That's very true.
I don't regret any of it. I had a great time during all of it, but man, I didn't sleep.
How are the burgers?
They're pretty good. The right side of the grill was on. He could only use the left side because the right side was just hot or not. It was literally flame.
What?
It had no variable. It was just, he had it on low and it was flames. So it was just like, all right, well, we're just going to take our time and use the left side. It
sounds like a good grill if you ask him.
Didn't make any sense, but here we are. He lives out by my old place too. It's kind of cool.
Wait, where's your
out in
place?
Antioch, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out.
For those of you that don't know where Antioch is, it's
Gotta
not
be from
near
Tennessee.
Franklin.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. Yeah.
How have you been?
Good. Long day yesterday.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I played at 3 different masses at my church.
Nice.
The first one it did sound for. It was an overflow for the.
That's like a 7 a.m., right?
No. It was 8:30.
Okay, bearable.
Yeah, and then I played drums at the 11, and then I played drums and did sound at the 5 at the same time.
That's great. Did you have the mixer like right next to you?
Yes, but like, if you know anything about Catholic churches, it's like at least the one I go to, it's not like the drums aren't mic'd. It's not in a cage, no nothing. You're in the room and you play like this, really quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what I do is I go out into the sanctuary. I get everything great, everyone else as they run stuff, and then we go back run stuff again. I just kind of insert myself.
Nice.
Hopefully it's good. I really couldn't tell you if it's good or not because I don't know what it sounds like out there.
Hey, no news is good news, so it must have been great.
No one's come up and said, that sucks. The face I'm making, if you're not watching, is just of pure disgust.
That would be not good at all.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's fun.
Today, would you like to intro the topic?
Yeah, we're kind of actually talking about that a little bit.
A little bit.
Being a musician and the pros and cons and what comes
hustle.
with it. And
all about
just
the
all
hustle.
that together, yeah. Do you want to go first, maybe? Do you want to give your little insight? What comes to the brain first when you think about that?
Yeah. So I'm going to be cliche for a minute.
Here we go.
It's a lot of hard work. But it is. I'm not wrong.
Thanks, Danny Tanner.
It is. Like, if you don't have the kind of motivation to do, like, you can land yourself maybe some like mid-level thing, but then like you're stuck there because you gotta go for it. You gotta be a go-getter.
Exactly.
You know, or at least know people.
Exactly.
Which is always nice.
You have to always be kind of thinking on it, whether you're working at that moment or not. You always got to be thinking about the next thing and stuff like that.
Because the job you're on, like let's say you're on the road for 2 months, you get back, what now?
Well, and now there's this new game of the content on top of just what you do live on stage. Or you got to make the content and be on the internet and do all that, which is a whole nother job
you can't
in
just,
and of itself.
Like, for me, I can't just be a drummer. It's not like I have to make content. I have to learn another instrument.
Yeah.
Like I can't just.
You have to make TikToks.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. It is what it is. I was actually listening to Bert Kreischer, who's a comedian, yesterday, and he was talking about comedy, but I think it still for the most part stands, especially nowadays with the content creation, the internet, and everything. Is like you've got to be working 24/7, whether it means you're actually doing your craft at that moment or not.
Yeah.
Like even if you're not physically working, you're thinking, which is working. You're doing math and you're doing, advertising and marketing, whatever, which is still working.
Seeing how much in debt you're going to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Doing
that
paying
math.
your bills for your account card for all your music stuff. It's still working because you're still working on your music stuff, but it's not you on stage. But it's still just as important as it. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be the new thing is like, not only being a musician, but being in control of all the things that come with it. The marketing,
well, as much as you can be,
the behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, some stuff is just going to fall through into your control. Well, but then it's on you how you're going to react to that.
See, I know. I think that's because he was talking about in comedy that he thinks it's going to be very independent in-house going forward because it's like,
I think so too.
And I think that's the same with music because I think the internet has let people realize that you don't need a manager
you need
and
a
3 marketing people
with carpet.
Exactly. You just need to do it. I really find that if you do what you want to do, you'll be successful with the people that like what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like really. Yeah. What do you think, like maybe more particular to Nashville, the area, what do you think as a drummer you can expect at like a show or in town when you're a musician? Like, what do you think? Like
just like you're playing a show in Nashville,
in both the business sense and the musician sense and the camaraderie sense, just in all of it.
The show is not all of it. If you say 100%. I'm here to play a show and that's your mindset purely, you're doing it wrong.
100%.
Right? You gotta network at minimum. You gotta network. Like if you're on a bill with 3 or 4 of the bands, you should know each of their names by the end of the night.
And if you don't follow all of them on Instagram after the show, you know what I mean? Like,
because you never know who they know, and they don't know who you know, and it's a very big community of helping one another,
especially in this town.
I don't think I've met a person that's like, I'm not going to share my people with you. Like it just no one does that. Everyone's very open about who they know because they always want the best for you, and they're rooting for you just as much as they're rooting or you're rooting for them. Excuse me. So it's not like this weird closed door kind of thing.
Exactly.
Especially at a gig, we all just want to have a good time and like play.
I think it also helps with our age group because I think our age group and everyone that's in our 20s and the younger millennials and stuff, we're all kind of like, we're all in this together, Shout out High School Musical.
Stop it. Can't believe you just said that.
But it's true. I mean, like, I go to so many shows and, like, it's 5 or 6 bands on a lineup. Yeah. And all the bass players get together and go, all right, we sharing 1 amp? Are we, what do we need? Do you need a bass? Do you need a 5-string? I got,
I broke a string. Here's a string.
It's so, that is so huge to a show. Because you also go to shows where you go to a show and nobody does that.
No,
and the bass player brings up their own thing. They take their time. They take up your stage time on loading and unloading. And it's just little things like with drums and you guys with shells and cymbals and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
I've got a gig. Actually, you should come. It's on Thursday, this Thursday.
The 14th?
I think it's the 13th.
Okay, I was going to say, I have a gig on the 14th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Maybe we'll go to each other.
No, I'm out of town. This is a whole side conversation. I'm out of town. I'm out of town for this weekend.
It's okay.
And I was talking to the guy who put it on, and I was like, "Yo, I might have to bring my stuff. Can I use? Because we're opening, so it's not like it would make sense to me. It makes more sense to use whoever's the headliner's kit is as a nice little courtesy, because that's what I do when if I'm in a band that's closing." And he was like, well, my guy can't get there until later, so actually you're going to have to sound check with us. So I'm like, okay, but on what? He was like, and the house kit is, it's not a good
Sometimes
house
that
kit.
Happens.
So, but we'll, but it's like, this thing is like, of course I'm going to work with the guy. Like, it's not like.
100%.
I'm not going to cross my arms and.
You don't pay me, I will not. Yeah, no, it's not like that.
Yeah, it's very much a nice give and take thing. And
yeah, I think it's important too. Like,
I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Kind of
exactly.
Thing,
I was working a smaller festival here in town called Bad Fest. Shout out Bad Fest. Come to it this year in August at the East Room.
Bad
it's at
is
the
it?
East Room. Well, it's put on by a clothing company called Bad World Anarchy. So they kind of, it's the name on that of Bad Fest. Anyway, but like the headliner of the event, the singer was at work because everyone here in town, as musicians, also has to have jobs. Yeah. And he couldn't do sound check earlier in the day. So the first band learned all those band's songs before and sound checked for them. So the band is they used to be called Purity Among Thieves. They're now called Still Here. They just released a new song called Bleed, which is pretty sweet. But they're kind of a bigger metal band in town, so all of us that were on the lineup like know them. It's like, this is awesome. And so it was just cool to watch a sound check, the other singer go up and be, hey, I got you guys, no worry, like let me
That's
help.
cool that they learned
Exactly.
the stuff.
I mean, I think they only
I've never heard of that.
I think they only had maybe 10, 12 songs, and they did a cover. But I mean, still, you know what I mean? Like,
wow,
it
that's
shows
cool.
something for that singer. I believe he was a singer of the band Circuit. So shout out Circuit. But yeah,
you're saying all these names I don't know.
It's because it's like metal bands that name their bands.
I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I know. I think that's important, is when you're a musician, you're nice to others. Like I was saying earlier, you know, with bass amps and bass players, and it's so nice, because then after that, when one band is playing, you watch them. Yeah. And then at the next gig, even if you're not playing with that one band, if they're playing across town the next day, you're gonna go watch them, just because I played with them last time, they were super nice. You know, they're just the homies.
It's that relationship building thing that
exactly. And
is
then
super
it's
important.
Like, let's say in 10 years, one of us is big and they need someone in town. They know us. They know that we're collaborative. You know what I mean? That we're collaborative.
It's crazy about how much it is about the people you know. Like
100%.
I learned that earlier on, because I saw this guy playing. I was like, he's not that good.
Oh my!
And the whole everyone else was great. Like, he wasn't bad. I was like, yeah, like it's fine. But everyone else was like top tier A class. And I was like, how's it? It was like, oh, it's because you grew up with the guy's son's cut. Like, it's just this weird connection. But it's like, oh, that's your in. You know.
It's also crazy how, like, it's kind of a small world, because I got a show at City Winery at the end of the month, and one of the other
You've been
artists,
saying that a lot.
I know. I'm sorry. It's a bigger show for us, and I'm excited about it. But one of the artists on it is one of my family friend's nieces. Like, I think I've met her once or twice before, like back home, and it's just, you know what I mean? But then it's that, and being nice to her at the show, and knowing her, and her band, and then just that moment can turn into something into the future. You know,
it's also crazy how small of a world it is. Because like, what'd you say? You know, and you're not from here. So is that girl that
she's from Michigan?
She's from Michigan, yeah. So
and
it's
the band that I play for, St. Jacob, he's from Michigan. He's from Detroit. Yeah.
What are the odds, man?
I know. We're invading. Michigan's invading Tennessee.
No, I've seen Michigan and Texas plates all around here.
Yeah, dude. And North Carolina, honestly.
I don't see North Carolina.
Oh,
I don't know where you're looking.
I'm looking everywhere.
The face you just made. It's like, come on.
So what do you think are some cons? Because I think
there's a lot of cons.
Some cons.
If you're not built for it, like, all of these are cons.
Sometimes if you're not ready for a show and the other bands are, you can tell. Which it's unfortunate to say, because it's reality though. You know? Sometimes you're just not ready.
Well, it's a sink or swim kind of deal too. 100%. Like, if you gotta, like, if let's say you botch a gig, you or your band, like as a whole, botches a gig, it's either throw in the towel or do it better the next time. Like, and don't complain about it, because it's on you at the end of the day, because it's your performance. So
I think also sometimes people may call this a con. I just think it's a neutral kind of thing that you got to do in the industry. Is you're not always playing the exact genre you like. You can't play with every musician you love.
I got to tell you stuff.
You're not going to play with amazing music. You know what I mean? Like,
when I was in high school, and before that, in high school was when my mind started to change. But like before that, especially, I was like, I'm just going to be a touring rock drummer, and that'll be it. I didn't want to do session work. I didn't want to play anything but rock, and that was it.
Then what happened?
Wrong. I joined a country band. That's what I did.
Yeah, exactly. But I think when that happens, you start to love the things you didn't. Like, playing with country bands, you realize how amazing the musicians are. And it may be the same few chords that the song is based around, but it's nice what you do with those chords. Yeah, the 1, 4, 5. You know,
I just feel bad for bassists.
The same.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, dude, so
1,
that's
5.
That's the beauty. Is like what you do with that is what separates the good from the great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I love about downtown, like Broadway. If you're going for the music and not for the drinks and the party, you can bar hop and watch the talent, and you can see different ways that like bands mesh. Like, if the bass player is clearly the weakling and the guitarist is amazing, but it's interesting to watch them, how they do things, versus bands where the bass player is you know what I mean? Like, it's so different, and I think you can benefit from that as a new musician. Like, if you recognize that, you know, maybe you're in a band where the drummer or the guitar player isn't maybe equal with the rest of you. It's not, you don't then go, okay, well, I'm clearly the better member. Yeah. You go, okay, well, that's the reality. What can we do with this to make us all as a whole greater? You know what I mean?
If you're being selfish about that in a 100%. Band, it's like, okay, well, you're hindering the whole project. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
You really got to be a team player.
I made a joke once, and it's kind of true, but it's also a joke. You can tell whenever it's a singer-songwriter that booked other singer-songwriters as their musicians for their band. Because they want the limelight on themselves. And when they're playing the same chord progression as all the other songs, they're like making eye contact and throwing picks and you know what I mean? Like,
bro,
it's like
okay, we'll have to like talk about this in a separate one, but like a separate episode. But I learned decently quickly that you just play the part.
Yeah.
Don't go stupid nuts like it, because songs don't need that.
Yep.
Unless you're playing this prog thing that's like that's what the genre is. Like it doesn't like pop rock doesn't need stupid flashy guitar riffs, doesn't need a drummer putting fills in every single spot. And I learned that especially with I was playing I've told you about him a little bit. His name's Walter Egan. I met him a long time ago at this camp, and then small world again. He's a substitute teacher at my old high school. We just kept in touch for 4 years over that. And then he asked me to play a gig with him a few months after that. And his music, it was just like good rock and roll, like 60s, 70s stuff, even some 50s. He did some covers.
Yeah.
And it was like, just like pocket. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like if I did anything else other than that in the form of the song, it would not have worked.
100%.
Like doing that, like that takes more self-control and more skill than doing a lot of the chops that guys can do. Because like it just... You don't need all that.
It's knowing,
that's the way I play. It's
knowing
like
where you fit in the song.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
But
I know. I think it's I have another saying. Situations are situational.
Brendan with the sayings.
I just love my saying sometimes. But I think it's true because like sometimes if you've been rehearsing the whole show and you know there's not a lot of flashy stuff, but when you get to the gig for some reason the audience is just loving the bass player or they love whenever the drummer does these big fills. And if you know that there's a moment where there's like a big dropout, but as you as a band, you're like confident, you can be for it. It'd be like, take the dropout. You know what I mean? Like just because it's like better for the band, maybe not you as a guitar player if the bass player gets a run during the break, but it's better for you as a whole because it makes the audience, because a lot of times musicians forget that, in the moment for you, it's about you, but as a whole, it's about the experience from the audience perspective, from the sound guy's perspective, from the band's perspective, not just you know what I mean? Like, I always think about what does the audience think of this right now? Does the audience need a bass run? Does the audience need a long solo? Do they need a dropout? Do they need a vocal run? Or do they just need us to keep doing what we're doing? You know what I mean? I think it's important. I think it's important to know because then if you get too far into, okay, we're going to shred for 35 minutes and then you're done and 4 people applaud. It's like, okay, maybe
and
we need to
those are
read
the 4
it.
people that are doing the same thing themselves because they're like, dude, that guy's cool. It's like when someone passes you, like I could be walking on the road. No, walking on the road or even like on the highway that you're driving to, and it just goes like just right by it. It's like, wow, you're really cool. Like that happens in downtown here all the time, and it's like a small, quaint downtown. Yeah, and like anything, it's so loud, and I always yell at them like, "You're really cool!" Like, not that they can hear me because they're being really cool. So don't be that person, guys.
Literally. I also think one thing that's important when you're a musician and like hustling and stuff like that is like, don't be afraid to get told no. Like put yourself out there.
You will be told no.
Exactly, but don't let it discourage you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like put yourself out there and just ask. Like the amount of bigger musicians that don't get asked that would be willing to do things with smaller guys around town and they don't get asked, so they don't. You know what I mean? Like you can always just ask. The worst they can say is no. Or you know what I mean? Like I think sometimes people get so focused on I need to make it that they get tunnel vision on them and the outside help kind of starts to dissipate a little bit.
It doesn't have to.
You know what I mean? Even if it's from someone bigger than you, sometimes you've got to be the small fish in the big pond in order to grow into the big fish. Bars. That was bars. Put it on the ticker at the bottom. That was bars.
The ticker at the bottom?
You don't know that saying because you don't watch like sports.
I watch sports.
You've never heard that, like on the the ticker at the bottom where it's got like the stat line going at the bottom of the screen?
Oh,
yeah, put it on the ticker.
I've never heard anyone say that before.
You heard it now.
I guess so. I mean, I watch soccer.
Do you want to talk cons of drummers?
Cons of what?
I feel like at shows, you can always tell, like the drummers can really be This may be a hot take, the make it or break it of a show. Do you agree?
Like if you got a bad drummer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You agree?
Like you can have an amazing band. If your drummer is mediocre, the band's mediocre.
Yeah.
End of story. I don't think anyone can probably change my mind on that.
Yeah, I agree.
But if it's the other way, if you have a mediocre band with a stellar drummer, that's a good band right there.
Mhm.
Especially I think it's the drummer and the front man, your singer. Like if they're killing it, bass player and guitars, just kind of hang out and you're fine.
I think that also means you don't have to be a star drummer and like a front man drummer.
No, but just good. like better than the guitars and the bassist.
Yeah.
Like if they're knocking it out of the park, and the other guys are just like hanging and they're doing their thing, not screwing up, but just like they're fine.
Yeah.
Amazing band, so good.
Literally, I agree. Good. The amount of bands that I've seen where the drummer and the singer are amazing, and the noted instruments, I guess you could say, the instruments that aren't hits. Piano
is technically percussion. Don't make that face.
Is it?
It is. It's percussion.
Piano is technically a giant guitar that you play down,
it's not.
And it's each little
guitars don't have the keys like that.
Exactly, but each key
you just agree with me. Thank you.
Each key is its own guitar pick essentially that's hitting the string for each string.
But it's not a pick that's hitting the.
I know, but it's not like it's a string in there.
See, I feel like you're just wrong.
It's a big string in there.
You're wrong.
It's strings though. You know it's strings in there.
I know the strings in there, but it's still a percussive.
Yeah,
because you don't go on a bass. Well, I guess you could. I'd take that back, but it's not. Do you know my point? Go away.
I know.
My goodness. Piano's percussive. That's why drummers make really good pianists, because they're very like percussive about it.
Is the piano a percussion instrument? Put in the comments.
Yes.
I don't think so.
What do you think? You think it's like a stringed instrument?
I think that yes, it's a stringed instrument. I mean, okay,
it has strings.
It's a keyboard instrument first, but in its essence, a keyboard is a string. It's a stringed instrument because it's strings inside. The sound is the strings resonating in the body of it.
You want to know a hot take? I think everything's percussive because you're hitting it. That's right. Because the act of striking the string on the bass, okay, not that, not singing, but like you're hitting or you're doing something to this inanimate object.
What about like horns and like
horns? Okay, not that. I mean, like in your basic rock band setup, horns. No, that's like I'd put that in the same thing as a singer because you're moving air.
Yeah,
like with your voice as opposed to like striking something with your hands or
so
whatever.
What is like a what is it called, an accordion? Because you can't play it without air, but it's also a keyboard instrument.
That's a good point.
Is that a percussion instrument?
I think that's percussive.
I think it's both. It is both.
It's both, but more percussive. I mean, one side's literally a piano, and the other side's the buttons. You're still pressing the buttons and the keys of the piano.
Yeah, but it doesn't work unless you use air.
That's very true.
It's literally zero sound.
Okay, that's the one anomaly. There's nothing else. There's nothing else.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Okay, there probably is something else. Some very obscure instrument, but I really don't know it.
If you know about it, put it in the comments.
Leave your weirdest instrument that you know in the comments.
Yeah, there'll be some weird ones. There's a bunch of like weird,
keep it clean, guys.
Contrabasses and like huge clarinets that are like 10 feet tall and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I wanted to ask you, if you could tell yourself 3 things, like if you go back and tell your past self 3 things about being a musician, what would you say? Maybe not, if you can't think of 3, not 3, but what would you tell your past self as a musician to know? Like what do you think you could have told yourself?
Like to know or to do?
To know or whatever, either or.
I feel like I try to do this now, but take every opportunity, no matter how much you think it's like, oh, I'm above that, or you don't want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, and now is the time, like we're both 21, about to be 22.
In less than a week, I'll be 22.
Wow, you're so cool. I'm buying you side note, I'm buying you a trash can because you don't have a trash can in your bedroom. Like, happy birthday. It's no surprise. I'm going to show up at your door with the like $5 trash can.
That's fine. My mom might be in town when you do that. Okay. My mom's going to be in town from the 16th to the 18th.
Meet the Mama Brendan. Yeah.
Mama Brendan.
I don't know.
We're going to the Italian restaurant on my birthday.
Which one?
The one right here, the fancy one downtown. I'm definitely going to brag to you
Zolo's?
about it. No, the really nice one at the corner here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely going to brag about it to you.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. See, you're not buying. That's why, because I'd make fun of how much money it is, but you're not buying because it's your birthday.
It's a reason it's that much money. It's because it's going to be so
How do you know
good.
you haven't been?
Because I've looked at the menu.
I'm sorry, pause just on the podcast. Like, what? We're going to have a whole side conversation about Italian food. We'll do an episode about that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, take every opportunity. And then this might also be a little cliche, but practice every day.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's one of mine.
I don't do that now. And I like kick myself. I just had a bad voice crack.
I don't do that now.
Shut up. I don't do that now. And I kick myself for that still. Like on a day to day, I'm like, God, just sit down.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but I mean, sometimes time gets away from you. But so if you don't put it in your calendar, I like calendars. I like making calendars.
You love calendars.
I do. I got a whole color coded thing. It's great.
I'm not a calendar guy.
Good thing. Oh, this works then, because I am.
I know.
And I will force you to put stuff in your calendar. So.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Anyway, just set aside the time to do it because it's that important. Like if you don't keep up on your craft, I was just talking with Justin Liu that works here, because he used to be a drummer and now he's
pronounced Lou.
I think it is Leu.
I thought it was Le.
How would you say it?
Leo.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway.
That Justin.
Yeah.
A different Justin than the one that's grill doesn't work. Half the grill doesn't work. A different one.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I just have been neglecting my musician side for a little bit here. I've been very focused on the engineering stuff. And I still promote myself as mostly a musician, which is like, that's what I do. I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
But I've been letting my drumming stuff go, so I need to get back on that. So if I told my younger self, hey, practice every day, maybe I wouldn't be in that spot now. But anyway, but what about you?
My first one is to have grace and be patient, because it's not always going to happen right away. It's not going to happen in the first week. It's not going to happen in the first month. It's not going to happen in the first year. You got to have patience and, know that it does take time for things to happen. And, my grandma used to say, or she still does say, I guess, is Pacienza, which isn't, sorry, I just said it wrong. Pacienza. It's Pacienza, but technically it should be Pacienza.
It's just the dialect.
But it just means patience in Italian. And it's just, I think it's important is to have patience. But I would say that. I'd also say the practice thing is important. For me individually, I was a drummer for a long time. Then when I moved here, I sold my drums and just stopped playing drums completely.
Yeah.
I wish that I would have maybe not even kept the drum set, but maybe sold that, and with that money bought an electronic drum set. So at least keep my chops up, keep playing.
Or something. Yeah.
And like to just be more in the practice thing, I'd say be more of a multi-instrumentalist and kind of practice a lot more instruments.
Actually, I got a question. Of your instruments you play, do you have a favorite?
My favorite is drums, but because now it's the one that I feel like I'm the worst at out of all of them, I don't like advertise myself.
So then because I assume at one point you were playing all these regularly, and you had to practice all them regularly.
Yeah.
Was it hard to say, okay, I need to play bass, but I really want to play drums right now? Like to practice all of them equally so that you brought them all up as opposed to favoring one,
Not when I moved here because I didn't have drums, so I couldn't practice drums.
Okay, before that, when you were
before that, I didn't even have a bass, so I just was a drummer and a guitar player, which I had been for so many years because I started playing drums when I was 3 and guitar when I was like 5 or 6. So
how do you play drums when you were 3?
My parents bought me one of those like tiny kiddie drum sets that has a kick drum with a tom and a cymbal attached to it, and then I had a snare that are like literally this big, maybe. It was like a kiddie drum set, and then I literally played on that for a few years, and then when I was 6 or 7, I started taking lessons.
Oh, you started when you were 6 or 7?
Like with lessons, yeah.
Yeah, I started when I was 8.
Oh, I was little.
Wow.
I played my first concert when I was like in 4th grade, like fresh into 4th grade.
No, I wasn't that good.
Oh. Well, I also was kind of good about instrument discipline because like of the drumline thing, where it's not drum set, but it's still drums, and I got to learn.
Oh yeah.
When you're section leader, you got to learn the bass part to explain it, and the tenor part, and you know what I mean. So it's like it helps with thinking outside of your own instrument. But yeah, I'd probably say I wish that I would have kept up with drums and maybe piano, because I took piano lessons for like a year.
Did piano?
For like a year when I was younger, yeah.
I mean, the more you know, man. It was crazy.
I didn't do it for very long. But
no,
I'd say that.
If I had to learn another instrument, it'd be piano. Because I feel like
you should.
You're just going to get theory with that. Like, and I'm a pretty visual person, so like to see just the keys laid out and like, hey, this is like a diminished, like to learn all those weird chords, to see it all out as opposed to on a neck, because the guitar neck just scares me. Like I'm like, what?
Yeah, I tell people if they want to learn an instrument first, if you're stuck on guitar and you want to learn guitar, do acoustic. Don't learn electric or bass, because when you learn electric, you just end up learning solos and power chords, and then if you get stuck on that, you then fall behind on your acoustic kind of theory and how to think that way. But then I think theory is better for learning overall music theory, but I think piano is the best instrument to learn music theory and to learn music, because you can see it right in front of you, and it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. My third thing that I would say to myself is be mentally stronger about it, because for me personally, because when I was younger, and even kind of a little bit now, when I see a musician that's better than me in another band, I immediately go, oh, be them. Man. Oh my God, I wish I was better.
Yeah.
And I say be mentally strong, but I also think it's kind of maybe in that grace thing of like, all right, well then be better.
Yeah.
I'm kind of punitive like that, where it's like, all right, you're not better, so be better.
It's this balance between not beating yourself up too much, but being like, okay, I can achieve that.
Knowing
I just
your
have
place,
to put in the work. Like,
I guess
it's
that'll be
not
my third one, knowing my place. Know your place in not a bad way, but just know where you are. Know that you're not bigger than you are. Know that you're not smaller than you are. Know that when you play a show that you're headlining, even if it's for 100 people, you're still the headliner. But also, it's not for 1,000 people. It's for 100 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get back
it's
in
different.
The box.
I think that's important, because you can get in your head in that, in both ways, in like a you think you're bigger than you are way, or you think you're smaller than you are. Yeah. And then you can get stuck and not go
It's
anywhere.
like, bro, I sold out this venue. It seats 50 people.
Yeah. I sold out.
Congratulations, you're doing great. It's 50 people.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, don't let it go to your head. You know.
I think that's important. I think, that's my thing. I would say I've been good about it, but I think.
Did you have any expectations before getting into the music business, like the industry kind of thing, or was it like when you when you got into gigging, when you got into like not just lessons, you know?
Well, so I think, because I started gigging with that like rock band thing, I was in a band from 4th grade through sophomore year of high school. So I played all the time when I was younger. So it wasn't gigging, but the industry is. But
you're like not just like, because I didn't do any of that till I left high school. I was purely taking lessons for however many years, and then in marching band, and still learning through high school. Like I didn't really network. I didn't do anything like that until I graduated.
Yeah. No, see, I did, but the thing is, I was in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, so it wasn't like here.
Yeah, that's true.
Every show turns into something. Most of those shows, by the way, if you go on YouTube and type in either Buzzookie, Buzzukee, or Buzz Top Studios, Buzz Top Studios, a lot of the songs and the shows are on there. You can watch them.
That you did?
Almost every single show is on
We're
YouTube.
doing a watch party, and we're gonna watch you.
We should do it. It'd be fun.
I'll pull up some of my old stuff.
I sing in some of them. I do like big guitar solos. You can. Back in the day when I first started, there's 4th grade drummer, there's like freshman year drummer, and there's like 5th grade guitar player versus sophomore. Like you can watch the whole progression. It's kind of cool.
We should do a live stream or something.
A live watch along.
Yeah. Of old videos.
Do it here on stage, and we sit and we watch it on the mini screen in the projector.
Franklin Theater, you should let us do that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We probably can't pay you.
We can do it on an off day at like 10 in the morning. Yeah.
Or 11 at night.
That too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
night vibes, you know.
I think my expectations were for the town here when I moved here.
Really?
I think I didn't expect it to be as big as it was. Not even in size. In
Franklin or Nashville?
The industry.
Okay.
The music industry here in town.
You didn't think it'd be that big? It's Music City. No, it's called Music City.
I didn't think there'd be as many musicians Like I thought there'd be a lot of singers, songwriters, and a lot
very
of
oversaturated
singers.
Yeah,
but I didn't think there'd be as many bass players and organ players and harmonica players. Like,
you are a little fish in the pond.
Exactly. I knew I would
actually
be, but I didn't realize how big this. It's like Lake Erie. It's like Lake Michigan. It's a big old lake, and I'm a tiny, tiny little minnow.
You're a tadpole.
I'm a little minnow.
Little minnow.
And I'm just waiting to grow.
Little shrimp.
No, because shrimp are gross.
Shrimp's great. You don't like shrimp?
No.
Shrimp's great. What?
No.
It's like one of my favorite seafoods.
Shrimp tangent. Shrimp is weird. It feels like you're chewing on jaws.
Don't think about it.
Feels like the chewing on the meat of your jaws, like your gums. Feels like you're chewing on gums.
It's shrimp. It's great.
It's not the taste for me. It's the texture.
Do you like lobster?
It's different. Lobster's different.
What about crawfish?
I don't like crawfish, but I like lobster. Yeah.
So you just don't really like shellfish?
Not really. Yeah, no. I also don't love fish either.
See, okay. Is it the fishiness? Excuse me, the fishiness.
And it's the mini bones. I don't like the mini bones. They really bother me. Whenever you get like a fish that's...
Well, you probably shouldn't.
Some fish,
but don't eat those fish.
No, but sometimes like white fish and stuff like that has those little mini bones.
Well, it shouldn't. Like cod, you have cod. Cod's like great. It's like all around.
I like fried fish and I like sushi. That's really it when it comes to fish.
Okay, that doesn't make sense. That you don't like shrimp, but sushi's on the table.
I like sushi because it's different. It's like raw. It doesn't taste all gamey.
Do you do the raw fish thing?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Literally yesterday.
Oh my
sushi.
gosh! I just saw this guy on TikTok doing steak tartare.
Oh, dude, I've done that.
No,
before.
You've had steak like raw? No.
Yeah, that shit is.
I would
good.
try it, but I don't know if I could get over that. And I'm not like that. I'm not picky at all. But raw stuff, no.
It's good. You have to buy in. It's bougie.
I don't want to pay for that.
You got to buy in.
If someone bought me it, I would do it. If you want to buy it for me.
Maybe we'll do it live on air when we watch.
We have
videos.
so many things we could do live.
We'll eat sushi while we watch my Buzz Top Studios
I've had sushi, but it's always with like cooked fish or meat.
We'll eat raw sushi while we watch my Buzz Top Studio videos.
No, man.
You'll see it here.
Anyway.
Maybe to end this, let's you and I name two realistic guests you like to have on the show. Not like we'd love to have Steve Perry and Slash, but be like realistic. Yes. Who would you like?
I want. Do you going to say the person that you already
want to say? Yes,
but that's both of us though.
I know, but it's mine.
It's fine. It's yours. Whatever.
My big one is Chad Gilbert of Newfound Glory. He's a good friend of both you and I from working here at the theater. He puts on great events here in both Movie Gang, and now he runs the movie.
He's around here a lot.
And Newfound Glory is about to go on an amazing, awesome tour with All American Rejects and a few other awesome bands. So I would love to have him on. What's one of your first ones?
Let's see. I feel like just because it's kind of easy and it's a connection is David Mullen from Dark Horse. He was my music business teacher, and the guy is quite knowledgeable, and he's just been around for forever. So it's like just to pick his brain and just see. Yeah. Like I feel like that'd be a fun conversation. I don't know. Okay.
My second one, which I think is going to be happening sooner than later, is Leland. I'm forgetting his last name, actually. I can't believe I'm forgetting his last name.
Okay, you can put Leland and Shay together.
Yeah, we'll put Leland and Shay. Shay is the technical director here at the theater, and Leland is her boyfriend.
Ew.
He does monitors, works for Brett Young, which is pretty sweet. But he's got some great stories on the industry and working in practice rooms and stuff like that. I have an honorary mention after you do this one.
Okay, the guy I sent you today. Aaron Sterling.
Yeah, Aaron Sterling.
He lives down here. He lives like down the street.
That would be
awesome. And Aaron, if you're watching, I don't know. I want to tag you. I'm going to tag him. I don't care.
Yeah, we'll tag everybody.
Dude, you're insane. Like, it's so good. Yeah. I aspire to play like that.
Yeah.
And I don't right now. It's so good. Like, I listened to John Mayer, and then I listened to that. I was like, oh, yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
Yeah.
Oh, the tones, my man. And he's a great conversationalist too.
Is he?
Like he does those kind of like I just watched him today. He was talking about this pack he's releasing of drum stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's really funny. He was like hyping it up the past few days, like putting out these promo videos. And the video today was just him talking. He was like, I don't like. Basically, he was like, I don't like doing that. It's gonna come out in a couple of days. Just here you go.
Just get it. Yeah.
Like he's very down to earth.
Nice. He gets the content thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
And he's a good drummer. Like it's like he doesn't have to be good at content.
He works with John Mayer
because he's like, oh yeah, it's John Mayer.
He's gonna be good. Yeah.
And okay, what's your honorable?
My honorable mention. I was very lucky and fortunate to have gotten to sit in on a session just one day that was at Dark Horse. I believe it's out now. The record was for Tony Martinez. He's a good country rock artist. It was produced by Yellow Wolf, which was awesome. And the keys player was Peter Keys from Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, yeah.
And I talked to him for a little bit on that, and we became good friends. And I've been, not good friends, but that day we had a good conversation, a good thing going. And I follow him on Instagram, and we've been kind of like, he DM'd me once when I had a show, and was like, good luck, whatever. So I think that would be pretty sweet to have him on, because I think he's got some amazing stories with Lynyrd Skynyrd, and he's also played on some amazing sessions just with huge artists. I think I'm going to try to reach out. I don't know if we'll be able to get him, but I think it would be amazing to have him on.
Like what we were saying, just might as well ask. Like it's the worst you can get is no.
The worst I can say
and
is
you're
no.
going to get some no's, but like whatever.
Dave Matthews, come on the show.
Steve Perry.
/ John Mayer.
John, if you're watching,
Mayer, come on the
just
show.
come on down. You know, we got this
who lives
big old
around
couch
here
over
that's
here.
like, who actually lives? Theo Vaughn.
So many people live down
Theo
here.
Vaughn, any member of the Tennessee Titans.
Carrie Underwood lives half hour.
Yeah. Doesn't Steven Tyler have a house out here?
Probably.
Steven
Jonathan
Tyler.
Kane, still from Journey.
Yeah. John Oates, he's been here before.
Bro.
I might try to, another honorable mention, Guthrie Trapp, who's a guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Shay's friends with. He plays for John Oates. I might try to get him. He's in town a lot.
He'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
He's played twice with John? I
think he's on tour with him right now,
I think I worked both of those shows.
He also has this awesome thing called the East Nashville Guitar Club. And every once in a while at the Underdog, like during the day or on an off night, a bunch of just guitarists in town will go and just do essentially like karaoke but guitar, where there's a backing band and you go up and play with Guthrie Trapp, or you can get some other guys go up and just play for the room and hang out and talk, and it's pretty cool. But
and Dave Hagen.
Oh yeah, Dave Hagen.
I feel like we've brought him up in every episode so far.
We need to have Dave on.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
We're gonna make that happen soon, Dave. Yeah. You're coming.
You'll be here. You'll be here.
Right here. But, all right. Well, thank you again to the Franklin Theater for their wonderful, wonderful space.
Yes, thank you.
And as we do, Liquid Death, please sponsor us.
Thank you, Liquid Death. You're the best water of all time.
We should probably start bringing them and just
start bringing it and set it up right here. Yeah. Got to put
maybe not
things on here so we don't watermark the amp.
Yeah.
But anyway, you want to promote your stuff?
Yeah. So again, I'm Massimo and Stefano. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Massimo D Music, Massimo D Music, as well as on YouTube. I got this man right here to my right on a lot of my stuff. We got some cool stuff coming up on there. It's just my name, Massimo De Stefano, Distefano. And yeah, Brendan.
My Instagram is bden8, BDEN_8. You can follow me there. That's all I really got, but I'll tell you about our if you go on TikTok and you look up the Green Room podcast on TikTok, it'll show up there. Our handle is podcast TGR, but if you just look up the Green Room podcast, it'll show up on there. Also on Instagram, I believe, if I remember correctly,
it's podcast the Green Room spelled out.
There's two T's in the middle.
Podcast with a T, the with a T. Podcast the Green Room, and you'll find us.
Follow us on there. You never know, we might end up making other content for TikTok or YouTube or whatever. I'm not saying we will because we literally haven't talked about it, but I think we might do some 5-minute stuff and shorts here and there, and
up on there.
Follow us there; it'll be fun. Hit me up to mix your music.
Hit me up to drum on it.
Yeah, shout out
and
Slash,
then record it
as I do always. Shout out Slash.
Good ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening and watching. Ciao.
Peace.